Fellow nerds, we are talking Invincible Season 2 trailer, and we are going to break it down and have a wonderful discussion about it all. Dave or Doug, have you had a chance to watch it? Everyone out in
Oh,
the
I
chat,
did
have you had a chance to watch it?
multiple times. I am so looking forward to Invincible season 2. And by the way, I know we don't have time for this, but the Scott Pilgrim trailer also dropped.
Oh, we could have talked about that too. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. A lot of things coming. So much, as you put it earlier, there's a lot of things coming out. And yeah, I am so looking forward to Invincible season 2. It is long overdue. I think Dave actually mentioned this a while ago. He said, it seems like it's been a couple of years since we last saw Invincible, and it's taking a long time. But as long as the quality is good, as long as the animation is still fantastic, the voice acting, the story, as long as they're still doing an excellent job, then by all means, take all the time you need. To me, I view it like the Venture Brothers. Sometimes they took like 3 years in between seasons, but I was always happy. I was always happy with what we got.
All right, you guys ready to watch this trailer?
We all remember that day. For some, the pain will never fade.
When I was a kid,
We
I always
get
wanted.
that. We get a lot of the throwbacks to the first season, like you were talking about. We see, the picture of him and his dad, him riding the bike, and his dad helping him. We saw the scene where they had their big fight, and Mark was, beaten to a pulp. We see him revisiting that site.
To be my dad.
And then
What
I
if
love
that
the
happens?
scene where he's like using his powers to bring that tidal wave in to kind of put out all the fires. That's a really nice way to show him using his powers.
What if I
like that
become
too.
him and I don't even know?
It looks like he's actually
I need to do more. I
where,
can save
one of the
lives.
biggest issues in the past was even trying to land. Like he was too strong for his own good, and it took him a while to try and I think get a handle on it. It seems like he's grown since then. He's trained a bit, and he has a little bit better handle on his powers.
Yep.
So
He's
hey, good
basically
character
coming
growth.
into it.
Yeah.
Put me back out there.
We see him asking. It's coming through the monitor now. I fixed
Oh,
it.
good.
I'm not a very bright man, but eventually I
Yeah.
get it. We see
I can't hear it at all, so I don't care.
he wants to be put back out there. Obviously he wants to help. He wants to be a hero, probably to make up for what his father did, not only to his mom, which we see a
Oh.
little bit later in the trailer, but to the people of Earth. He is, one of the idiots who lives on this planet.
Mark isn't like other Viltrumites. He's a
That is are you quoting Lex Luthor or are you quoting Kingpin from the Spider-Man animated series?
I don't think so. I was quoting
He
Guardians of the
said, he said
Galaxy.
the same exact line.
Because
Wait,
remember,
who-
Rocket was like, "Why do you so care about this
Rocket said that
universe?"
too.
Whatever he goes, because I'm one of the idiots that lives in it.
That's right, he did say that. Kingpin utters the same thing in Spider-Man the animated series. He ends up stopping the Spot, who we saw from in Across the Spider-Verse, but he was getting ready to destroy the entire Earth, and it was, I think, one of the Kingpin's men was like, "Why are you helping Spider-Man? Why are you trying?" He goes, "Because I can't take over a world if it's destroyed. I live on it."
Which is all very true.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Seth Rogen's character.
good guy.
Dinner tonight.
Go save
see
the
him
world,
back.
Invincible.
Good
You're
to
way
see that
too
he's
good for
standing
me!
up for
Who are you? I
this
call
guy
me
is- look, I know how your feelings on Viltrums, but he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, and then we see him sitting with his girlfriend on top of the mountain. I love when he jumps off. He looks so goofy falling down, like he's sort of nervous still around her.
I'm
So
curious about this though. Like, I don't get this because they seemed so bad for each other in the first season. I get that this is a complete separation of, like, they're essentially both Mark and Amber. They're both completely different characters in the animated series versus a comic. But the way that they played it out in the animated series, they just seem so terrible for each other. So I'm surprised they're back together.
That's what makes Mark. He keeps going back for the pain.
Yeah. Oh boy.
When you play the video and you're talking at the same time, it gets kind of jumbled. We'll play a little bit. Now, right now, we paused on that shapeshifter, which I kind of paused it here because obviously whoever comes in and clocks him has a major problem with him.
I wonder if he's I wonder if he's a superhero like a la The Boys, where he may not be very heroic.
He's probably used his powers for not so good things.
Maybe
whoever this guy is, I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before, but he definitely has a problem with him.
There's an infinite number of dimensions.
Now, here's the part that I know our buddy Dave, tall guy out in the chat, is going to love.
Multiverse?
This guy talking about, I can see every universe out there. And, of course, everyone's doing the multiverse, even Big Brother at this point. So we see it. But I hope they kind of use this as a way to show that there are some bad Marks out there. And it'll help him, be more heroic throughout the thing.
And I was
Can I say also about this scene? I love that they brought the Mauler twins back. They were fleshed out a lot better in the animated series than they were in the original comic. In the comic, they were kind of just one-off villains. They existed, but they were really nothing. I really liked the way that they
were just there to be beat up.
Yeah. But in the animated series, they fleshed out their characters, and I loved how they had the heart-to-heart. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen season 1 of Invincible yet. If you're watching this, I'm not sure why, but yeah, in season 1 of Invincible, they have this heart-to-heart with Robot Man, and it's great. They basically let him know, like, yeah, we're constantly teasing each other. We're always saying, you're the clone, you're the clone. And he says, we're probably both clones. There probably isn't an original, Mauler anymore. He's probably long gone. And he says, but, you can't think about it. You got to live your life. And so it's interesting to see them take even what's supposed to be just a villain of the week that gets beat up and flesh them out. And so that's something this series is doing really well. And so I'm glad to see them come back.
Yes, it'll be good to see them. Along with, I forget his name. He's in the X-Men, and he has the power to basically teleport. I can't remember his name, but this character reminds me a lot of him.
Okay.
To access.
Wait, you're not thinking Nightcrawler, are you?
No, I would remember Nightcrawler's name. He's like he's from Africa, but he can teleport long distances and via multiverse, and
okay.
He's only brought in as a plot device in the X-Men occasionally when they need him. So
that's right.
Shut it down or I take it down.
Marvel Comics. Wait, hold on. Go back for a minute. I think did I see on that machine? Did it say giggity?
Let's see. Oh, I just missed it. Is this the machine you're talking about?
Keep going a little bit, but yeah, that is the machine. So it showed these two labels, and I thought I
see radioactive and warning.
Yeah, keep going a little bit.
Oh, it does say giggity.
Right there, yeah, Gigty. Oh, gig-T. Okay, so I missaw it. I was like, is that like an inside joke? I wonder. Okay, never mind. I was seeing things.
And obviously, we see him trying to power up his interdimensional power. So I wonder what they're really trying to do. It definitely seems like he can open up all these different little holes into the multiverse. So why does he need to power that up? What exactly is his end game right there? So that could be an interesting little storyline right there.
Yep.
You have no idea how much I wanted you to say that.
You have no idea how much I wanted you to say that. Then we get the montage of him fighting and getting beaten up. Really getting beat up right there.
Oh yeah.
Make him pay. for
It,
what he
it wouldn't
did
be
to you.
Invincible if you didn't have Mark getting beaten to a pulp, though.
And then I really, like the scene we get here with Mark, kind of consoling his
Consoling
mom.
his
Who
mother.
obviously, 20 years she was basically thought she was in a loving marriage, and finding out that Omni Man just basically thought she was a pet.
I'm curious about that. So, in the comic, he definitely does feel that way. He's definitely more of a one-note villain, but as we saw in the Adam Eve special that you can watch if you check out Not Your Status Quo, we did a short review on the Adam Eve special episode. There was an end credit scene or towards the end of that episode where they showed Omni-Man. He was upset that Mark was goofing around, that he hadn't developed his powers yet. And for a second, he looked like he was getting ready to go full Viltrumite. But then, he saw a photo and he calmed down. He's like, no, this is my wife. This is my kid. So I think that even though he calls his wife a pet in season 1, I think in this series, in the animated series, I don't know that he fully believes that. I think he's just telling himself that.
I agree with you. I do think that is kind of be how it's kind of going to go. Because remember, in the comic, he basically went off to lead the Viltrumites back to the planet. Now, we don't know where he's at in the animated series at this point.
Years of my life have been
Right.
a lie.
You want this back?
Now, is this the same villain that Adam Eve fought in her origin series when she was
It
younger?
looks like it. It looks just like him.
I thought so. If I would have had time, I was going to rewatch the Adam Eve special, because I'm like, oh my God, he's going to get his butt kicked by Adam Eve a second time. And that's pretty cool.
It would be kind of funny.
Wrong choice, asshole.
Then we get Mr. I love Mr. Immortal is fighting the kid. And you get another little nice little montage. And I love that. So arrogant, just like your father. And I do think this is going
And
to
that
be
smirk on his face. That's great. I love that.
the multiversal Mark, who maybe is leading the Viltrumites, because we do get here at the end
Like your father.
where he's talking to the people of Earth.
People of Earth, the more you resist, the worse this gets.
Now, do you think that that is an evil alternate reality, Mark? Or do you think that's some sort of propaganda that the Viltrumites put together?
No, I think it's him being shown what
Okay.
he could be and why he has to keep his powers in check. And hopefully, because if you look at the scene I got stuck here, we see Adam Eve.
It's a totally different version of Adam Eve.
Yep.
And it's both Robot Mans. It's Robot Man, the living person. Apparently he's still alive in this universe, and his robot.
Yep. So I definitely think because of this, what we see here, it's definitely a different reality where we're going to find out. Maybe Mark even goes in and fights himself to kind of
Oh, that
save
would be
this
interesting.
this version of it.
That would be, oh man, I bet an evil version of him, I bet he would totally clock Mark. I bet he would just beat him to hell.
And I bet the heroes of that Earth probably helped the good Mark against evil one, and that's the only reason why he probably wins at the end. But then we get
Don't forget, I'm
I love that they said, and don't forget, I'm
Yep,
they do
and then
the
goes to the
Invincible
title
logo.
screen. That's so great.
That is their little catchphrase or their shtick that they do in every episode. You don't get the title card till he says the name.
Right.
But I mean, overall, it was a great trailer. So much is going on. We see a ton of stuff. I forgot. I meant to look up today how many episodes there was going to be, but hopefully we get a multi-episode, like a 3-episode drop on the third, leading into it, because man, that show, first season was great. Trailer for season 2 looks awesome, and they're already working on season 3. So I know Tall Guys does not like the long breaks between seasons, and it sounds like the break we got between season 1 and 2 isn't going to happen between 2 and 3, which I hope also means between 3 and 4 will be not very long, because they can be working on animation as long as the writing, the writers are back now. You know, the writing is done. They can do the animation and all that stuff and wait for the voice actors to come back. So we shouldn't have too long of a wait. That is good news. But overall, I mean, I was already fired up for season 2, and this did nothing to take down that hype. People out in the chat, what do you guys think? You excited for season 2? Oh, me too. I try not to be. I try to be more like Dave and keep my hype levels to a manageable level, but they never are.
I do try to temper my hype, and I will say that going into the first season of Invincible, I hadn't read the comics at that point, and so I knew very little about it. And when I first saw like the opening episode, I'm like, okay, this is about on par with the quality isn't quite as good, but it's about on par as like one of the Marvel animated, or not Marvel, one of the DC animated movies. I was like, okay, I guess is all right. And then with that twist at the end, I was just like, oh, okay, now you've got my attention. And they had me hooked.
I was watching that first episode like, yeah, it's good. Then I was like, did they just really do that? What the hell is going on? And then I was totally hooked. Unless the tall guy says, I'm just saying, if it takes more than a year to put together 8 episodes, then what y'all doing, man? Well, with animation too. I mean, even with like The Simpsons and Family Guy and everything, they're working on the next season while the current season is basically playing. And unfortunately, Prime did not renew season 2 until season 1 hit. And I think that was the gap between it, because, animation can take quite a bit longer, and I think that was a problem. And tall guy says hype level for Invincible is an 8. Yeah, mine's probably 8.5 or a 9 at this point. This first season was so good, and almost everyone who's read the Invincible comics say it's one of the best comics out there. Robert Kirkman, who did The Walking Dead and Invincible, is a tremendous writer, and if this series can even be half, 3/4 as good as the comic, it's going to be fantastic.
It is a good comic series. I think the animated series is better story-wise. I think they've filled in some of the gaps that were left behind in the comic book. So, I mean, obviously the comic has ended at this point, so we have yet to see, what direction the animated series is going to go in. But I think it's fleshed the characters out a little bit better.
No, and like you said, the brothers, they definitely fleshed them out a lot better in the show than the thing. And they've got that thing. They've read them all, and they can kind of pick and choose where they're going, and spend a little more time on some of these characters just to make them a little more interesting. Especially if you're going to keep bringing them back.
The other thing that they did different between the comic and the animated series is it took a lot longer for Omni-Man, for that twist to happen. I want to say that was like in issue 5 or 6. So there was like a whole bunch of, like training with Mark and doing this and doing that and, like fighting like the whole aliens that invade while Omni-Man is in the hospital. That takes place before the twist. So they rearranged a couple of things, and I think it's to the benefit of the series because there were a few things that made it drag out a bit. And while it probably, I suppose maybe to a point it worked in the written medium, but once you know what's going to happen, it's like just get to it already.
I think they made the right choice in having it at the end of the first episode, because I think those of us that had not read the comic.
Oh, it hooks real quick.
Yeah, you're done. You're like, okay, I'm not doing anything else.
What is going on? And oh my god, I hate the way that they did that. So this was one of the first Prime series where they decided they were originally doing the Netflix model where they were dropping everything all at once. Not with Invincible. They dropped the first episode and they're like, haha, screw you. Go ahead and come back next week. And we're like, what?
No, didn't they do that with The Boys season 2 also?
They might have.
I thought we got the first 3 episodes. Of
Yeah,
The
they
Boys
did.
season
You're
2.
right, because I remember we were talking about. They were like, "This is weird." They separated it out, and we're like, "I wonder if they're doing this for the whole water cooler moment." And we had this whole discussion on what that was. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have
How
figured
did-
out, hey, we keep our subscribers longer if we draw it out over 8 weeks.
They're not like subscribing for like a week and then canceling their subscriptions.
With the price of Prime, I'm sure there are people doing that.
You know, the only reason that I keep Prime is it's not really for the video service. I do it for the delivery service because
Free shipping, yep.
it's the free shipping, and once that you flip that Prime switch, it gets it to you. You can choose the item that's going to get to you even quicker. Like I can get same day delivery for certain things. This is not an advertisement for Amazon. They're obviously kind of a terrible company that they treat their employees pretty poorly, and Jeff Bezos just wants to build a dick rocket. But
And Jeff
regardless, I
Bezos,
still use
you
it.
shouldn't make $487 million a year when you have employees who are barely scraping by. It's
And
just
peeing
sticking
in
around.
bottles.
Yes. So Doug can get his package same day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's Doug's affiliate link.
As I'm wearing an Amazon t-shirt next week. Turns out I was wrong and I love them.
And look at this coffee maker I got last week. The link's in the
Right.
everybody buy it.
Doug, are you wearing a Mr. T starter set? What? No.
And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.